Bet. What's up, fellas? I'm starting a new little segment. I got this meditations book, The Daily Stoic, by Ryan Holiday and Stephen Hanselman. And I've been going through it, and it's really eye-opening. If you take a few minutes each morning to really try to understand the words and where they're coming from and how they can relate to yourself. So I'm going to start doing daily meditations with you guys so you don't have to read, I'll be able to read it to you, and we'll go through each thing, and I'll put my input, and then we'll see where it brings us. All right? All right, here we go. Be ruthless to the things that don't matter. How many have laid waste to your own life when you weren't aware of what you were losing? How much was wasted in pointless grief, foolish joy, greedy desire, and social amusements? How little of your own was left to you? You will realize you are dying before your time. And that's a quote from Seneca on the brevity of life. So let's go back through that. How many have laid waste to your life when you weren't aware of what you were losing? How much was wasted in pointless grief, foolish joy, greedy desire, and social amusements? How little of your own was left to you? So with that, I really look at it as if he's warning us. If Seneca is warning us to really just look at life, look at your life, perceive your own life from the outside. How much time are you wasting on things that either aren't good for you or that won't matter in the long run? If you're in a relationship and the person really doesn't care for you, or if you don't care for the other person and it's just a waste of time, that's not ultimately getting you to your goal of finding someone that's good for you. Just like social amusements, we are a society that's completely absorbed with being entertained. Think about it. When our parents were growing up, when older generations were growing up, they had radio, they had TV, but each week they'd have to wait for the next episode. They liked books, and now us, like my generation, I'm 24, so our generation and generations behind me, and even generations older than me that have caught on to this dilemma of, the Netflix era. We want instant gratification. We want to see the next episode immediately after this one, so we wait to even watch any episodes so we can watch them all at once, and it's just being amused. What are you actually learning from these experiences? And there are some shows that can create an impact and give knowledge, but a lot of them, it's just amusement. Why do you hang out with the people you hang out with? Do they progress you? Do they challenge you to be a better person? Do they show you different perspectives? And are you able to talk to them about things that you would otherwise be afraid to tell someone? How much was wasted in pointless grief, foolish joy, greedy desire, and social amusements? How little of your own was left to you? I think that gets deeper the more you look into it. How much time are you wasting? Like, how much time are you wasting on things that don't matter? What can you be doing otherwise instead of wasting your time on the little things or just people that will never be good for you, or situations that you end up in that you realize this is not me, but you're too scared to look at your friends and say, I'm done with y'all, you're not good for me, because you don't know what's going to happen, or you're scared of the judgment. And then it ends with, you will realize you are dying before your time. So, in a sense, with all the wasted time that you've spent on all these things that don't matter, have taken up so much space in your mind, in your life, that it has shortened your life or can shorten your life, as well as by the time you die, you have done less because of all the entertainment and the amusements that you let control you and really distract you from your purpose, from your goal of what you could have done. And I feel like that's really intense. After the quote, it goes into an explanation of what the author believes the quote is saying. So I'll read that right now. One of the hardest things to do in life is say no. To invitations, to requests, to obligations, to the stuff that everyone else is doing. Even harder is saying no to certain time-consuming emotions. Anger, excitement, distraction, obsession, lust. None of these impulses feel like a big deal by itself, but run amok, they become a commitment like anything else. If you are not careful, these are precisely the impositions that will overwhelm and consume your life. Do you ever wonder how you can get some of your time back? How can you feel less busy? Start by learning the power of no, as in, no thank you, and no, I'm not going to get caught up in that, and no, I can't right now. It may hurt some feelings. It may turn people off. It may take some hard work. But the more you say no to the things that don't matter, the more you can say yes to the things that do. This will let you live and enjoy your life, the life you want. So let that sink in for a minute. So I think that's very true. One of the hardest things to do in life is say no. For whatever reason, we hate saying no to people. We feel bad and we take it emotionally when somebody tells us no. And it may have come from our childhood, where our parents tell us no, and it's a demeaning thing, But it's not always like that. We shouldn't always take it personal. If somebody tells us no, who knows what they're going through? Who knows why they can't. And they don't have to provide an explanation. And I think we really need to accept that if someone says no to us, it's just no. It's easy. It's just we take it on an emotional level as an insult, where that's not the intention. So it's saying to invitations, to requests, to obligations, to stuff that everyone is doing. So it's saying if you are focused on what you're doing, and if you have other things to do, don't feel bad for not being able to go to certain events and weddings or parties, or if somebody asks you to help, don't feel bad for saying no if you know that it's not going to be a positive outcome, if it's not going to help you or help your mindset, or it's just going to be a negative atmosphere or create negativity or a lack of value for you. It says it's even harder saying no to certain time-consuming emotions: anger, excitement, distraction, obsession, lust. None of these impulses feel like a big deal by itself, but run amok, they become a commitment like anything else. I think this one's huge, where, some of us can be okay with saying no to external situations, invitations and requests and obligations. I feel like saying no to ourselves is a lot deeper. It takes a lot of practice and skill and commitment to just understanding our mentality of what's going to make us tick, what is going to make us what factors are going to make us react a certain way to a situation or an individual. And you have to find within yourself an understanding of who you are and why you are that way, in order to know why you react to certain things in anger or excitement or lust. It's pretty much trying to warn us that in order to have a good life, we need to be clear of mind. We need to not be reactive to situations, but be able to see the situation, absorb what happened, and be able to have a clear mind and judgment to deal with that situation. And that's one of the hardest things for us, because we are emotional creatures. We do feel ways towards different things. We just have to make sure that we don't react before we absorb and we think about what's happening. Not only from your perspective, but from the person's perspective or the object's perspective. I mean, it happens all the time. There's innumerable, examples. You could say in an argument, an easy argument between, a couple. One might be angry or jealous or whatever, and the other person is just gonna react, like, it wasn't my fault, blah, 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 blah. And the other person, like, yes, it is, and then it goes higher and higher. But instead of getting angry or reactive to the person telling you that you're wrong, Nobody likes to know that they're wrong, but you have to kind of take that, step back, look from their perspective, see why they think you're wrong and where their mind is in order to understand them better. And then from that perspective, you'll be able to respond because you understand where they're coming from. And they should really do the same so there's no miscommunication between mindsets and you guys are on the same page. If you're not careful, these are precisely the impositions that will overwhelm and consume your life. Do you ever wonder how you can get some of your time back? How can you feel less busy? Start by learning the power of no. So I feel like that's an easy way of saying, in order to create more time with yourself or be more present more of the time, you have to be out of your head. You have to be clear of mind. And if you do not control your emotions and you just let them go, it's always going to be in your head. Situations, what I could have said or what I could have done, or it could have played out this way if I had done this or done that, or, it could have been better or it could have been worse, or just stuff like that. And that takes a lot of time and energy away from you and what you could be doing. And that's huge. So stay focused on how you're going to react and accept the situation as it happens. If it turns out good, great. If it turns out bad, great. But it happened. Don't sit in the past and wallow in the past, because the past is the past. It can't come back. You can't change it. The situation, if you have a bad breakup and, you hate each other, it's going to be a lot more energy draining if you try to get back with the person or try to make them feel any different than the last thing. I mean, you can have closure, which is great. You can put, your feelings out on the table, but in the moment is what is really going to affect the outcome. The after effects, it's very hard to put the pieces back together. So just be stoic in your mindset, in your reactivity to the situation, and absorb, and don't say anything you don't mean, or don't just say something to get a reaction out of the other person, because you might not be able to take it back. It may hurt some feelings. It may turn people off. It may take some hard work. But the more you say no to the things that don't matter, the more you can say yes to the things that do. This will let you live and enjoy your life, the life you want. So like I was saying before, we take no personally. If you tell somebody no, they're going to take it personally, most likely. You may hurt some feelings, and that's okay. You may lose some people out of your life, and that's okay. Because if they do not add to your life and they don't want to see you improve because of little things like not being able to go to a party or whatever, if you realize that that's not a positive area to be in and it's only going to create space or tension or negativity, you don't need that distraction in your life. And if that person is causing a distraction, you don't need the person in your life. And it's hard. It's hard to say that. It's hard to actually do that. It's hard to separate yourself from people that, you may have been and known for many years. But nobody's going to take better care of yourself than you. And if people aren't, backing you and what you feel is right or what you feel you need to do, you're hanging around the wrong people, and you need to create a new group. This will let you live and enjoy your life, the life you want. So just try it. Just try and observe your life and see what you've been doing that isn't creating value. It isn't creating peace within your soul. You feel you could be doing other things, or you should be doing other things, and you don't, for whatever reason. Just cut those things out of your life that hold you back. Even if it's the emotions that are inside you and they're holding you back because you're angry or resentful or obsessed or just want to be distracted. Focus on what you need to do, and don't be ashamed of saying no to people or things that could take away that focus. Yeah. I think that's it for now. All right, fellas. Today is, I don't even know what today is. It's like November 6th or something. But I'm going to put this up, and I hope you guys have a good day.